Hey, what's up guys? Jaden here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. This video is going to be more of a community video where I go through all your comments and answer the questions that you guys have. And hopefully this will be able to help you out. And likewise, for every video that I do, I try to base all my videos based off on what you guys want. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below. If you have watched the entire video, you can also leave any questions you have towards the end of the video. And if you like what you see or hear, or you've learned something, please feel free to share it with somebody else, or just subscribe to the channel. It will help a lot. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, let me just go through the questions here one by one. Yeah, so I've already gone ahead and liked some of the videos, but yeah, I'll just walk through some questions here. So nice video, Jaden. I've always learned something from your videos. Thank you so much. Just wanted to know, if migrating URLs from old to new, do we have to submit the URL in GSC Inspect 2, or it will be crawled automatically? Also, can you try to make more case studies and SEO strategy videos? So to answer your second question, which is, can I try to make more case studies and SEO strategy videos? I can. But is there anything specific that you would like to see? Because with case study videos, I already have a ton of, not a ton, but a few case study videos on the channel already. And I will list them down in the video or in the comments, so you can go ahead and check those out. But if you'd like to see specific SEO strategies for either a specific niche or a specific site, or a different kinds of website, like if it's a new site versus if it's an old site, if it's an e-commerce site, or if it's a B2B SaaS or a SaaS company or local business, right? So let me know specifically like what kind of SEO strategy videos you want to see. To answer your first question, if migrating URLs from old to new, do you have to submit the URL? So in this case, for those of you that's watching that do not know what a GS Inspect tool is, it's basically a tool that is under Google Search Console. So if you log into Google Search Console, you will be able to find the inspection tool there. It's basically kind of like a trigger for Google to, you're basically pinging Google to come in and take a look at your URL, and just to let Google know that either this URL it's live or has any changes, right? So to this particular question, do you need to submit the URL? So as a general good practice, what I personally do is I always, if there's any changes to any page or URL, right, I generally like to ping Google to index it, because we can leave it as it is. Google will crawl the site eventually, and hopefully it will crawl the site. That also depends on your architecture, right? But what I generally like to do is I like to ping Google. Okay, so every single time when there's a URL that is live, or if there's any changes, right, I would submit the URL to the Google inspection tool, and I would just basically ask Google to index it again. And this depends on how many URLs there are. So the reason why I say this is because if, let's say, you have made changes to, let's say, 10 URLs or even 5 URLs, right? It's pretty easy to do. But if you're doing it on scale, that means if you are changing it for, let's say, 100 pages, there's 100 pages that's being changed, right? Then that's going to be more difficult for you to go into Google Search Console and then submit each individual URL, because that's going to take a lot of time. There's different ways that you can do it. One way you can do it is you can get an indexing tool. You can use something like a Rank Math have their own indexing tool using Google API, or you can get a tool like, I believe is Index Me Now, which is a tool that I use as well. But those tools are paid. For Rank Math, I think you have to buy the Pro plugin. But if not, then you have to manually submit it on Google Search Console, which may take time. And also, I believe Google Search Console, the inspection tool has a limit to it. I'm not quite sure if it's new, but recently when I've started to submit more URLs, there are a few limitations that I've seen. Okay, but this is what I generally would do if I'm migrating URLs from old to new. And do take note, you should already know this, but you're just only you're just only submitting the new URLs, not the old ones. All right, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to give you a like. Nice video you have here, and I've learned something. Already subscribed, thank you so much. Quick question. To find client in local area, it's keyword volume for the business for that business need to exceed some volume first, or just go with whatever niche available? Because in some local area, there will be 1K search volume, sometimes less. Okay, so this is a good question. This is actually a lot of questions. A lot of time, potential clients or clients that I work with, they have this question. Because every single time when somebody sees search volume, when I say that, when I explain to clients, right, where, it's for this particular search term, there's only 100 search volume, straight away in their mind, they think that, it's very low, right? But it's all based off on different types of context and whether if it's relevant to your business. So I generally don't look at search volume as the defining factor of whether it's a keyword we should go after. So the idea is obviously the higher search volume there is. If you can find a keyword that has higher search volume, that would be ideal, because naturally there will be a lot more people to target. But if you find a keyword that doesn't have a lot of search volume, and when I say a lot, it really depends on the context. So if you are in a small market, like for example, I'm based in Singapore. So in Singapore, the population is way lesser than, let's say, compared to UK or US. So naturally, the same keyword in different geographic or different markets, the same exact keyword will have this different search volume. So that already reduces the number of people that you can target per keyword. And also based off on the niche that you are in. So if you're in a really, really hyper-specific niche, chances are you're not going to see a lot of search volume, but that doesn't mean that there's no search demand online. So as a rule of thumb, if there is search volume for a high relevant keyword, then that's best. But if not, if you see certain keywords that have little search volume, like 30 search volume or 50 search volume, do not sleep on those keywords, because sometimes those keywords, if they are buyer intent keyword or they are very bottom funnel of the, they are at the bottom of the funnel keywords, transactional keywords that have like 10 search volume, or even, that sometimes have 30 or below search volume, we don't want to sleep on these. You want to, include that within your keyword strategy, and you want to go after those keywords as well, especially if you don't have any more keywords that you can go after. So if let's say you've done all your keyword research and the only keywords that you find has like 30 search volume, right? You definitely want to go after these keywords. Do keep in mind that take into consideration the market you are in, the specific niche that you are in. So bigger the market, chances are the higher the search volume. Smaller the market, obviously it's vice versa. Similarly with niche, right? One more thing that you can add in is you can add in cost per click within there. So usually when you use any kind of keywords tool, they will provide you with a cost per click beside it. And this is also a good indication that I use to see whether if a keyword, it's the probability of ranking for this keyword converting to sales or leads will be high or not, depends on the cost per click. So if let's say the search volume is, let's say 30, for example, if you see a cost per click of like $20, then that's a very good indication that even though there's very, very little search demand, but the people who are searching for this, highly likely they will turn into customers, because advertisers are paying more for a specific keyword. So hopefully that makes sense. But the perfect scenario will be you have a high intent transactional keyword that has a lot of search volume and that has high cost per click. Okay, so so hopefully that's helpful. Blur your screen so I can learn from you. Unfortunately, I cannot do that because during these live stream, and if you like these kind of live stream videos, right, where I'm working on SEO projects, if you like these kind of videos where you're just working, and then sometimes you like to have something on the background or somebody there to accompany you while you're working, let me know if you are interested in this kind of video, because I always find this kind of videos very interesting. It's also have a little bit to do with accountability, in the sense that, when I'm streaming or when I'm quote unquote working with somebody, I have to work, right? So yeah, let me know if this is something that you're interested in, because I've been doing some streams, live streams, and I can, maybe depending on the demand, I may have a live Q&A session for those of you that need help, right? So I've been searching for my mentor. Please accept me as your disciple. Thank you so much. Good brother, nice video. Thank you. I'm my biggest fan. Thank you so much. Thanks, mate. You got subscribers. Please do a whole series. Okay, I think I'm almost done with all the questions here. I'm a dev thinking of providing this service. Do you have a list of all things we need to audit on a store? Okay, I'm gonna do two more questions. right? So this is the first question. So do you have a list of things that we need to audit on a store? So I assume that it's going to be an e-commerce store. So depending on where the e-commerce store it's being hosted on, generally for e-commerce sites, usually they have a similar patterns of issues, and they usually fall under the technical SEO aspects where either canonical tags are being messed up, a lot of no index issues, a lot of duplication of pages, cannibalization of pages, because the nature of e-commerce stores usually falls around products, and products have different variations, and that's why e-commerce stores usually have the same set of patterns. They generally don't have a lot of issues with content per se. They have more issues with duplication of content, duplication of pages, where they have a lot of similar pages, at least in Google's eyes, because they have a product, but that product have different variations. And if they don't set it up properly, which a lot of e-commerce sites don't, they're going to have a lot of duplication or cannibalization. So usually the first thing that we do for audit, it's usually a technical audit, especially for e-commerce store. If the e-commerce brand have a lot of products, chances are they're going to have a lot of technical issues. So that's usually the first thing that I would tackle first. So yeah, do you have a list of things that we need to audit on the store? Yeah, I mean, within Trev, which is my SEO agency, we do have a list of things that we go through for every website first. Just as the foundation, we usually do technical audit and fix those issues first. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. And then can I get this technical SEO sheet template? I think the SEO sheet template should be somewhere in one of the videos. But yeah, you should be able to just go to my channel and search technical SEO. You should be able to find a template somewhere. Okay, and last but not least, this is the last question. One thing I cannot understand you have built and same pages for different shoes or for different colors, but you make different pages. Why not one page for that? Okay, so I'm having a little trouble understanding this, but I assume you're saying that why do we have to create same pages for different varieties and different colors where we can make one page for that? So okay, as a rule of thumb, right? Again, this depends. There's no fixed way to do this because it really depends on the market and also a little bit to do with keyword research. So let me see if I can draw this out, right? So let's say, for example, I'm e-commerce and I sell shoes, right? Okay, let's say I sell shoes and I sell different kinds of shoes. For example, I sell black shoes, I sell red, I sell white, right? And let's say these are the 3 shoes color that I sell. So whether do I create one page, right? Whether do I create 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, okay? So this is kind of like the first setup, okay? And then the second setup will be shoes, okay? And then white, what's the color? Red and black, right? And this is 1 page, okay? So we have set up one here, which is I have 4 different pages, and then the other setup, which is 1 page. And then all these are kind of like the variation. So if you don't know how the URL structure works, I don't want to go into technical details, but it's basically like question mark and then white something, right? This is how the URL, but all of these URLs falls under a single page. So whether do I choose to prefer this setting or this setting, it really depends on a few things. Number one, well, it will highly depend on one thing, which is keyword research. So let's say, for example, if in your market, you do a keyword research and you see a lot of keywords around buy shoes, right? Let's say, for example, buy shoes, okay? And this has search volume, okay? And then if you do further keyword research and you find that there are search demand or search volume for buy black shoes and red shoes, for example, let's say all of these have search demand. Then what I want to do is I want to create individual pages for this, okay? Individual pages for this, individual pages for this. And that's what I would do to determine if I want to go with this setup. And the reason why is because I want to be as specific as much as possible for each individual page. And on one single page, I want to target only one keyword. So for this page, I want to target this keyword by shoes. And on the black shoes page, I want to target this keyword, and vice versa on red, I want to target this. And then on white, I want to target. But also, hopefully, you'll be able to understand this diagram here. It's a little bit messy, right? So that's how I would go about selecting this. However, if I were to do keyword research and I don't find any search volume for buy red shoes, buy black shoes, or buy white shoes, then I'm going to go with this setup. Okay, and the reason why is because I don't have to have a lot of resources to manage 4 pages. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now all I need to do is just manage 1 page, and this page I want to rank for buy shoes. Okay, because generally, the more generic a keyword is, the higher the chances of it having search volume. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to understand this, and yeah, I think this is about it. So if you like this kind of videos, please let me know. And again, if you have any specific questions, just list them down here. I will try to do community-based questions or this type of videos, probably like once a week or once every 2 weeks, just to see whether if there's questions popping up that I can answer in a video like this. But yeah, just trying out something new. If you like this, please go ahead and like the video. And if you have any other ways of doing things that I have that is different or that's better than what I've just mentioned, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. Again, I would love to learn like what are some of your ideas or some of the ways that you guys are implementing these, because that may be different and I may learn something from you guys as well. So yeah, that's all for this video. Please feel free to subscribe. It will really help the channel a lot. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, as usual, chase progress, not perfection. Peace.